Good, right on. You feel rested?
Yeah.
Why do you feel rested today? What's happened since we've been on here last?
We've had a baby. Wait, did we do it since we've had a baby?
We have not done it since then.
We have a baby, and she is 2 months old now.
Yep.
Her name is Eden. So we're sleeping pretty well through the night. Right now I have the baby is sleeping upstairs. We have 2 children playing behind this door, and we are hoping that we could get through this. Just us.
That's the hope.
No guarantees.
That is the hope.
Yeah. And John and Vicky, the reason we've taken over again is that they are gone. Whenever they go on vacation, we swoop in. So
I don't even know if I would call it a vacation. If you want to keep them in your thoughts and prayers right now, their son is getting surgery in Toronto, so I don't know why you would call that a vacation.
Well, they're calling it a bit of a vacation rolled into one because they're excited to not be in Ottawa and go and play in Toronto.
Listen, I guess when you bring your scooters, it becomes a vacation.
Yeah.
But anyways, they are in Toronto for the next week as their son is undergoing surgery. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers for that.
Yeah.
So what do we got today?
It's called Accepting Love. So I'm going to read it. It's a long one today. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. Many of us have worked too hard to make relationships work. Sometimes those relationships didn't have a chance because the other person was unavailable or refused to participate. To compensate for the other person's unavailability, we worked too hard. We may have done all or most of the work. This may mask the situation for a while, but we usually get tired. Then, when we stop doing all the work, we notice there is no relationship, or we're so tired we don't care. Doing all the work in a relationship is not loving, giving, or caring. It is self-defeating and relationship-defeating. It creates the illusion of a relationship when, in fact, there may be no relationship. It enables the other person to be irresponsible for his or her share. Because this does not meet our needs, or because that does not meet our needs, we ultimately feel victimized. In our best relationships, we all have temporary periods where one person participates more than the other. This is normal, but as a permanent way of participating in a relationship, it leaves us feeling tired, worn out, needy, and angry. We can learn to participate a reasonable amount, then let the relationship find its own life. Are we doing all the calling? Are we doing all the initiating? Are we doing all the giving? Are we the one talking about feelings and striving for intimacy? Are we doing all the waiting, the hoping, the work? We can let go. If the relationship is meant to be, it will be, and it will become what it is meant to be. We do not help the process by trying to control it. We do not help ourselves, the other person, or the relationship by trying to force it or by doing all the work. Let it be. Wait and see. Stop worrying about making it happen. See what happens and strive to understand if that is what you want. And the prayer for today is, today I will stop doing all the work in my relationships. I will give myself and the other person the gift of requiring both people to participate. I will accept the natural level my relationships reach when I do my share and allow the other person to choose what his or her share will be. I can trust my relationships to reach their own level. I do not need to do all the work. I need only do my share. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh.
Is that ringing any bells? Is that setting anything off?
Yes. That describes me, I think, to a T. I think often, because I'm an extrovert, I love people and doing things with people. And the problem is that I feel I do all the work often. And so I get really excited with new relationships and people. And then the problem is that, sometimes I get too excited. I do all the work and then I get frustrated. And then what I do is what I've done is I put relationships to the test. So then I see, does this person even really want to be friends with me? And so I let it breathe a little bit and then see if the other person contacts me. And if they don't, I just let it drift away.
Do you think that that's part of you creating chaos too, though? that it's like, I'm going to put you to the test and I'm going to see if you're for real about this, if you're as for real as I am. And then when you step back, that actually creates division, like because you're testing someone.
Perhaps, like, yeah, I think that's the hardest thing with, like, you know, as we've talked about codependency here, obviously, and chaos creating and all that stuff, is that, yeah, it's not intentional. It's not, you know, ill-spirited, but for sure, yeah.
No. I don't think that there's like I don't think that it's like you're intentionally trying to do something.
Right.
I don't think you're actually trying to create harm, but it's like, I wonder if that's the byproduct of what your mind is actually telling you, or kind of making you, I'm just going to test this person actually. And it's like, you might have the right motive to be like, it's like, is this something I want to invest in?
Right.
But is that actually
right? And I think the problem is the forefront of it is that it's like, I do all the work. I try to make everything happen. I'm looking for something, and and I have expectation perhaps on someone that they didn't even agree to those expectations. And so I think that's unfair. Yeah.
It's interesting, like, even just from the title, the first thing I thought of is, like, when it comes to like accepting love, is I just came at it from the other standpoint of like, I always found it difficult to accept love from other people, you know, or it's like, even think about like gifts, you know, like, it's like, I don't mind giving a gift, but it's like, if someone wants to give me a gift, there's something that feels weird about that. And it's the same thing where,
like, you have problems accepting gifts from people, like, you feel guilty or something, or
I don't think as much anymore. But I remember there was a point that it's like, it would feel weird if someone actually wanted to be like, I just want to bless you with this. Or it's like, or we just want to love, you know, like, I want to love on you and do all these things for you. And it's like, it just feels weird because I'm trained almost. I've trained myself to take care of myself and all of my needs and everything. It's like, I don't need anyone else. I just need me, because I'll make everything happen. Or I have this illusion that I'll make everything happen.
Yeah.
But then really what happens is, I kind of push people like you away, and I keep you at an arm's length. And then that creates this deeper, or this wider gap, that it's like, all of a sudden you're like, love me, like all these things, you know, of like, that you're pushing forward more in the relationship this way. And then I'm pushing further back. And
so that's how you're seeing it in our relationship specifically?
Yeah. Should I have been talking about our relationship?
Yes, that's great. That is great ammunition for this.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's, you know, like, that's how I kind of see my side of it, where it's like, you know, I would, you know, as you're actually pushing further in, I might actually push further away. And the more that you're trying to work to actually becoming aware of, like, you know, pushing, I don't know, I forget some of the words that they were using for it. But it's like, as you're working even harder for this, sometimes it's like, I'm even pushing further away, you know, and I find that sometimes we just go through this cycle.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then all of a sudden you're like, fine, well, I just tested him and he's not. So then you step back, and then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll step forward a little bit.
Well, it's interesting
that we play this and we do this dance.
Well, and I think, so that's the interesting thing about this part, where it says, like, in our best relationships, we all have temporary periods where one person participates more than the other. This is normal, but as a permanent way of participating in relationships, it leaves us feeling tired, worn out, needy, and angry.
I would say this is more on the permanent side of things than the temporary.
That I typically am more engaged in you or less. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that sucks. Like,
oh, hold on. What? Am I hitting you with some brand new news?
No. I think it's just like, it's, you know,
But if you're to look at the course of our relationship together over the past, you know, 13 years, do you think this was just temporary moments, or do you think that this was a uniting theme?
I've never really seen our relationship so much that way, like, in terms of like, yeah, like, I feel sometimes like I have bigger needs, or like I'm looking for something, or you're an introvert and I'm an extrovert, and I'm like looking, to be energized by you, and you're kind of like, yeah, I need some space. And so I get that part, but I think that like personally, like I find that when I'm engaged in this unhealthy behavior of like doing all the work in a relationship or really, really like engaging people, you're not usually it. Like, to be honest, I've actually felt quite like comfortable in our relationship. Like, yes, that's like my natural tendency, but I feel like
I'm glad you feel comfortable. Like I'm glad that you don't, what I'm saying, you don't actually perceive as accurate.
Because I find that I do that more in other relationships than I do with you.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So so
yes.
Where do you find yourself now then?
With you and I, or with other people?
Yeah. So where
are we? Are we okay? This is what I always ask Josh, especially at the beginning of our relationship. I don't know if we're okay. Are we okay? And he's like, stop it. We're okay. I'm like, okay, I can feel like we're okay then. Sorry.
So where do you find yourself now with this reading today? Do you find that this is accurate in some of your relationships now, or do you find that it's like you're like, or do you find that this is actually something that you've noticed before and you've started to address, or do you feel like, or is it easy for this to get pulled back in, or?
Yeah, like I actually do feel I'm doing better in this area. This is something I've been aware of for a while, and something that I think for a long time was a big time like insecurity, because it made me feel unloved, or it made me feel like if I don't do the work in a relationship, like I'm not gonna have friends, or nobody's gonna like me, and so I have to like almost like earn those friendships, which is not great. It's not great to do that. And I like the part too where it talks about like it almost like steals the possibility of the relationship, that the person doesn't even have like the opportunity, because I'm already like trying to make things work and try to include someone, or try to like reach out a ton, and then I end up feeling crappy about it and I drift away. So
well, it's also interesting when it says it's like, that it's like if the relationship is meant to be, whatever will be, but it's like we don't actually help the process by trying to control it. And it's like we don't actually help the relationship, we don't help the other person, we don't actually help ourselves. And I think sometimes we live in this, illusion that if I do more in this area, then the relationship will be beautiful and all these things.
Yeah.
But it's this warped sense of what will be.
And so I think to get back to your question too, like I feel that because of like the first step, I think is often the awareness of what I'm doing. And then I can start to like, approach things in relationships differently. So I feel that like that's been a big thing. I mean, it's a natural inclination for me to do that, to overdo it, overwork. But I do think that in that awareness, I've been able to really kind of step back and allow relationships to breathe more, and not have this forced expectation, or yeah. Would you agree? Is that a scary question to ask you, like in front of people? Do you feel like, do you see that in me? Because it's one thing for me to believe something about myself, but it's quite another for someone, especially that you're close to.
I think to an extent.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you have the tendency to swing. You don't just let it go, but you swing the opposite way.
Like, so then I'm like, I'm cool. Yeah. I'm good.
So I think just trying to find that balance in between, that it's not so far on the right side and it's not so far on the left side, but it's like, where's the actual, like, living well, living whole? Where does that come into it? So
my last question, how much time do we have?
Doesn't say.
Okay. My last question then for you would be like, why do you do that? Like on the other side, when you have someone that's like overworking and stuff like that, or how does it even make you feel? If you have someone who's like really pursuing you and then you just kind of are less participatory, like why do you do that? Or like how does it make you feel when you come in contact with someone that's like, I guess those 2 questions, but
probably going into some deep psychological stuff there. That when I was 2 years old, but it's like no, I think that it's like maybe from an early age, I probably learned, how to take care of myself, or it's like that, through perceiving different events in life, it's like that this is how I have to comfort myself, or this is how I need to, get certain feelings, and here's how to get those things met. And I think that, so, I would say that probably just sticks with me, into destructive behaviors and patterns. But it's like in doing that, it's like, it's just the natural thing from an early age to kind of push away and stick to myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And how does it make you feel when someone, like, do you feel uncomfortable when someone does that, or are you just so inclined to, like,
I think there was a point that I would have felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now, not anymore.
Okay.
I don't think so anymore. Yeah, I don't believe so anymore. So, yeah. Anyways, today is Fun Day. What do they call it? Monday Fun Day? Fun Day Monday?
Sure.
They do a draw every Monday. That's not happening today.
No, we'll let them do it tomorrow.
We have no names. I have no idea how they do it.
No.
So
we have no prizes.
We have no prizes.
We have booch. We always have booch.
Yeah.
But
anyways, we will let them carry that on whenever they are back, but that will not come from us. So other than that,
as if our kids didn't interrupt us.
Man, it's beautiful from what the last couple of times were when we were on here. So
should we get them out?
No.
Okay.
Anyways, you guys stay safe. Any closing thoughts? Anything?
Get outside and enjoy the amazing weather. It's so beautiful in Ottawa today. I don't know what it's like where everyone else is, but we're gonna soak it up. Winter's coming and it's beautiful. So yeah.
Right on. Well, you guys have a good day there. Stay blessed, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.